Hello, in this video we'll reflect on good practice within group interactions during GROW meetings. I'm Keith O'Malley, National Programme Officer in GROW. The group method, this one here, outlines how group interactions should be progressed through. To start with, if newcomers are attending for the first time, the leader of the meeting should provide a 1 to 2 minute explanation of GROW. Newcomers should be assured that they won't be expected to do or say anything for their first few meetings. They should be encouraged to observe and allow themselves to experience how a GROW meeting functions. The leader of the meeting should then ask if anyone has any urgent or pressing problems. If anyone says that they do, the leader should plan then to put time aside to handle these, either before or after reports on progress. The leader then moves on to the telling of a personal story. There's a huge amount that can be said about personal stories. Because of this, we will cover the topic in a separate dedicated session and not deal with stories in any detail in this video. We will focus primarily on the parts of group interactions that are highlighted on the slide now: reports on progress and problem-solving practical tasks. However, before diving into reports on progress and problem-solving practical tasks, let's first consider some of the options that an organizer faces in relation to group interactions. Different approaches are used by various groups. For example, many groups ask attendees to talk about themselves just once. Other groups go around the room, first asking about reports on progress, and then go around a second time, typically in the second group interaction, asking about problem solving and practical tasks. Either approach is fine, but a group should use the same one week in, week out. Organising the telling of personal stories at every meeting can be challenging in smaller groups. However, at least try to have someone able to tell a good and relevant story on occasion when newcomers attend. The organizer and recorder may need to assist and mentor group members who agree to lead meetings in matters such as involving everyone in discussion, how to discipline loquacious people, and how to keep discussion focused and progressing on. There are a number of problems that seriously compromise group interactions, and organisers and recorders need to ensure that none of these are allowed to get established. Group interactions are primarily about going through reports on progress and addressing problems through setting of practical tasks and heeding guidance from the programme book. Nothing such as general chat should be allowed to distract the group from these tasks. Of course, there are always lots of matters talked about at a GROW group meeting. For instance, people tell stories in order to provide an insight. But the leader of the meeting should stop discussion going off in tangents. Another problem is attendees talking through reports on progress in vague terms or repeatedly telling the group that they've made no progress, or worse, that they can't remember their task. Attendees regularly wanting to move on from what is up for discussion because some new urgent matter has arisen is also a problem, as people being over talkative is. There are several aids that leaders of meetings and organisers and recorders can use to combat poor practices getting established in group interactions. Particularly effective is to encourage and eventually expect people to prepare for what they're going to say at meetings, especially about their reports on progress and problems they want to solve. To this end, members should be encouraged to use journals to record progress and to consider matters between meetings. The 4 Ps, one person, one problem, one practical task, and one piece of the programme, is an invaluable tool for clarifying what is critical and for focusing discussion. Understanding that change happens in different ways and realizing the value of viewing situations from different perspectives can both greatly assist in group interactions. So, how should a person leading a meeting follow good practice in working through reports on progress? A great place to start is with the right opening question. We will cover that in a moment. Having asked people the right question, the leader should seek to keep discussion focused on the person and the matters that they have raised. As already outlined, encouraging and over time expecting people to come to meetings prepared to speak is a really useful strategy. The correct question to ask is, as shown on the screen now, what was your task for the last week? This question naturally leads on to, so how did you get on with it? Using other opening questions such as, how was your week, invites people not to talk about what you want them to talk about, their report on progress with their task. With regard to setting tasks, it is useful to understand the difference between coping and growing challenges. Ideally, a grow group will have members working through both types of challenges. It's important in setting tasks that they are manageable. Also, a task that the person is comfortable with and ideally has proposed themselves is most likely to be completed by them. Avoid quick fix tasks. The outcome is not nearly as important as the process. It is within the process of doing the task where growth most commonly happens. So we've reached the end of this video. I hope that it has been a benefit to you. Thank you.